We've got cans of ale from Half Full, local out of Stamford. We've got fresh pineapples, cucumbers, strawberries.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's especially exciting for me as a Trumbull Times editor. This is a great Trumbull restaurant. So excited. They have a special event coming up, so they're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're going to have to wait a bit, but I think we're going to get to taste test some things. So I'm excited about that.
I'm very, very eager for this.
Yeah. So, well, since Don's not here, John, you're in charge of traffic and weather, so tell us what's going on.
A lot of road work in Darien, 95 north at exit 13, on 15 south in Orange at exit 57, that's Route 34. Danbury, road work on 84 east at exit 2. That's the rest area just beyond the mall. Road work on the Marriot south in Fairfield at exit 44, Black Rock Turnpike. And several other locations around the state. They're doing a lot of pothole filling. 'Tis the season, so just be alert to that. Weather, supposed to be reasonably dry today. Some blue peeking out. Mostly cloudy right now outside our Shelton studio. 53 at the moment. Getting up to a high of 63. High 40s tonight. 49 clouding over. Rain tomorrow in the morning. High in the mid-60s. Currently 53 in Shelton, 56 in Ridgefield, 47 in Fairfield. You're listening to Coffee Break and watching it on the live stream on the Hersam Acorn Network, presented by Stratford Orthodontics.
Thanks, John. Well, getting to some news this morning. Bridgeport police have released video they say shows the getaway car fleeing the murder of a city grocer on Saturday. 57-year-old Jose Salgado and his wife were working in their store, Sapia's Grocery, at 351 Lexington Avenue, when two men came in to rob them, both armed with handguns, just after 3 p.m. The intruders demanded money, and when Jose went to hand the money over, one of the suspects shot him. Jose was taken to St. Vincent's Medical Center but died around 3:45 in the afternoon. It is Bridgeport's fifth homicide of 2015. The suspects approached the store on foot from Linen Avenue. Video shows them walking east on Linen Avenue toward the store. 1 minute later, they are seen running west on Linen Avenue, back in the direction they had come from. According to several witnesses, they entered a bright green four-door vehicle and fled west. The vehicle is believed to be a kiwi-colored Ford Focus. They were last seen traveling north on James Street. Witnesses told police a third person was in the vehicle and waited in the passenger seat. The first suspect is described as a black male, about 5 feet 9 inches tall, with medium build, in his 30s. He was the driver, and his face was partially covered by a mask. The second suspect is white or Hispanic male, about 5 feet 6 inches to 5 feet 7 inches tall, also in his 30s. He did not wear a mask. Anyone with information on this crime should contact Bridgeport Detective Ada Currit at 203-581-5236.
Kate, Shelton police are investigating a fatal car accident early Sunday morning. Around 12:30 yesterday morning, police, fire, and EMS were dispatched to Howe Avenue, also Route 110, and Housatonic Rise, a report of a single car accident. The sole occupant of the vehicle, 21-year-old Alexander Grasso of Naugatuck, was pronounced dead at the scene by paramedics. I just read that from one of the fire departments. They were on the scene, one of the fire departments, for 8 hours.
Wow.
At this scene. Initial investigation by Shelton police revealed that Grasso was driving north on Howe Avenue. His vehicle struck a tree and a utility pole. Police said Grasso's vehicle was the only one involved in the crash. The Shelton Police Traffic Division Accident Reconstruction Team is investigating the accident. No enforcement action has been taken at this time. Witnesses or those with information about the crash may call the Shelton Police Traffic Division, 203-924-1544. Coffee break time, 11:05.
Two Melba Street homes in Milford were destroyed over the weekend, and another badly damaged during a roaring fire that firefighters say was exacerbated by wind. An earlier report from the Milford Fire Department stated that a candle caused the fire, but the department later said that statement was made in error and the cause has yet to be determined. The Milford Fire Department responded to 74 Melba Street around 1:30 Saturday afternoon, and upon arrival, heavy fire conditions were already well advanced in the single-family home, according to Fire Department Department spokesman Greg Carmen. One person was at home when he noticed smoke starting to fill the building and was able to leave without injury. He said fire crews began an aggressive attack on the fire, but the winds kept the fire intensity strong and it began to spread to the adjoining buildings. More fire crews were called to the scene as operations switched to a defensive mode to keep the fire from spreading any further. Firefighters said water pressure in the area became a problem until the water company was able to boost the pressure and additional manpower was used to stretch supply hoses to the other water mains. In all, approximately 30 firefighters were on the scene from Milford and West Haven fire departments until most were cleared from the area around 5:40 that evening. There were no reported injuries to any of the occupants of the 3 buildings or to any of the firefighters. Fire crews from Stratford and West Haven were stationed in Milford to cover any emergency calls while Milford firefighters were busy at the scene. I know Milford Mirror took a lot of photos, and it's just terrible to see the damage.
It really is quite a job to contain that because it was a very windy day on Saturday, and those houses are right next to each other.
They're
There is
so close.
not a lot of room.
Yeah, scary.
Anybody missing a pig?
I wish, because I want it.
Because a pot-bellied pig was found roaming on Forest View Road in Bridgeport, according to the Bridgeport Animal Control Facebook page. The pig is female, weighs 50 to 60 pounds. If you have information about a missing pot-bellied pig, contact the Bridgeport Animal Shelter, 236 Evergreen Street in Bridgeport, 203-576-7727, or animal.shelter@bridgeportct.gov.
That's got to be one of the more unusual finds for the Bridgeport Animal Control.
I actually know somebody who had one as a pig. They were pretty popular 15, 20 years ago. It was a big deal.
After the movie Babe came out, maybe?
It might have been before that. But to have one get loose is a different animal.
Nice.
It's what I do.
Well, in other news this morning, a 17-year-old boy was killed after his car veered off the road and collided with a tree Sunday morning in Danbury. A passing motorist discovered a black Chevy Cobalt off the road's shoulder and down an embankment on Crow's Nest Lane south of the exit from Birchwood condominiums around 8 a.m. Sunday morning. Danbury police and firefighters found the car badly crushed. The car's lone occupant, a 17-year-old boy, was pronounced dead at the scene. Police said the Chevy was traveling eastbound when it veered off the road, went airborne, and hit a large tree, police said. The accident remains under investigation. The name of the boy was not immediately released, pending notification of the family. Coffee break time is 11:08.
A car struck a house in Cromwell over Sunday night. Police said it happened on Nooks Hill Road near the area of Harrison Drive around 12:30 in the morning. Firefighters and police said they arrived to find the heavily damaged vehicle up against the house. The building had a large hole in its south side as a result of the crash and suffered heavy damage. Police said the unidentified driver was injured and had to be taken to Hartford Hospital, but the injuries are said to be non-life-threatening. Investigators say the driver was heading north on Nooks Hill Road. When he drove onto a curb on the north side, the vehicle became airborne, sideswiped a tree on the front lawn of the residence, went airborne a second time, then struck the house. Police are still looking into what caused the driver to hit the curb in the first place. Residents were home, but Kate, they were not hurt.
All right, John. Well, coming up on 11:10, so we should take another look at the roads.
We certainly should. We have road work, as we said earlier, 95 north at exit 13 in Darien. That's the post road right by the Norwalk line. Road work in Orange, exit 15 south at exit 50, or Route 15 south at exit 57. That's Route 34 to Derby and New Haven. Road work on 84 east at exit 2. That is near the rest area. Road work on the Marriot south in Fairfield at exit 44, Black Rock Turnpike, and other places upstate. As we've said, it's time to fix the potholes, and today's the day to do it. Mostly cloudy, 53, feels like 53, little wind, humidity about 55%. Getting up to 63 today should be good for the baseball game we're scheduled to bring you later that we'll talk about with Rob Adams in a little bit. Tonight down into the upper 40s, mostly cloudy. Rain tomorrow morning in the mid-60s.
All right, great, John. Well, we want to mention again, we are live streaming this broadcast. You can watch us at hanradio.com, clicking on the Watch Now tab. When we come back, John, you're going to be filling in for Don, doing some history.
If we don't have a problem.
Yes, and sports. And then later in the show, again, we're going to be whipping up some cocktails and more good stuff. So keep watching and listening. You're listening to Coffee Break on hanradio.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Marriott Parkway exit 44. Save thousands at the award season event, now through April 30th.
What
a new
becomes
experience.
news? Find out each Friday on Behind the News on hanradio.com. We'll bring in the newsmakers from around Connecticut and the journalists who cover them. Who is making the news? What did they do? Where did it happen? When? And how did that story unfold? Find out on Behind the News, hosted by me, Kate Chaplinsky, with Josh Fisher and John Kovach, Fridays at noon on hanradio.com.
Hersam Acorn and hanradio.com.
Dan, we've got one more item for you when you get a chance. We'd like it to stir up your cryo tanks. In addition, I have a shaft and trunnion. Okay. For a look at the Comet Bennett if you need it. Stand by. Hey, we've had a problem here. Can say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem. Main B above undervolt. Roger, main B undervolt. Stand by 13, we're looking at it.
Those the actual words of the crew of Apollo 13 and Mission Control in Houston on this date 45 years ago. April 13th, 1970, after an explosion crippled the spacecraft halfway to the moon, causing one of the more harrowing ordeals of the space program. The exchange is misquoted in the movie Apollo 13, still does not lose the desired effect. And that's a movie, Kate, that I can tell you that being a space program junkie and having seen it probably 20 times, that I still get intense and emotional as that movie comes to an end, and during that whole scene, the whole ordeal that they go through. That on this date in 1970. Also on this date, in 1861, after 34 hours of bombardment, Fort Sumter surrenders to the Confederates. That marks the beginning of the American Civil War. In 1870, it's kind of shocking to think that you had this Civil War that tore this country apart, and just 9 years after Fort Sumter, on this day, the Metropolitan Museum of Art was formed in New York City.
Wow.
In 1902, the cornerstone of countless malls around the United States was born as J.C. Penney opened his first store in Kemmerer, Wyoming. In 1911, the Polo Grounds grandstand and left bleachers went up in flames. Also in 1911, the House of Representatives voted to institute direct election of senators. That was a step toward direct democracy. I know Josh Fisher will know this because in 1963, Pete Rose tripled. It was his first major league base hit. Finished his career a quarter century later with a major league record 4,256 hits. And in 1965, the Beatles recorded Help on this day. Quite a bit happened.
A lot of stuff happened today. Good job, Johnny. You did a good job filling in for Don.
I just hope to get better at it. Rob Adams joining us with sports. Rob, talking about baseball, you had a great venue and a great day for it on Saturday.
Certainly did, John. It was a great day to be in Norwich. Had an absolutely wonderful time, although you can't give me all that history without me having a chance to comment. Do we have enough time for me to at least add some? Okay, good.
I knew you were. I knew you weren't getting through it without.
You've thrown the Beatles and baseball at me. It's way too much for me to deal with.
You know, I'm writing the script, and I see the script on baseball. Rob is not getting out of this without a comment. It's just not happening.
You know, And that fire at the Polo Grounds, you can almost say, is a direct correlation to the building of Yankee Stadium, because the fire at the Polo Grounds caused the American League baseball team playing in a place called Hilltop Park or American League Park in the Washington Square area of Manhattan, where Columbia Presbyterian is now. That was the Highlanders, also known as the Yankees. They invite the Giants to come play there because of the fire. The Giants repay when it's decided that the Yankees can't stay in Hilltop Park anymore. It suffers its own damage, and it, too, is just too small, the building. The Giants get tired of the Yankees getting too good because they bring in this guy named Ruth, and what happens? They move across the Harlem River, Yankee Stadium is built, and away you go from there, the dynasty as we know it. The Beatles' Help is a great album, was never intended to be... That song was never intended to be so peppy. It was actually a very depressed song on the part of John Lennon. So, a couple of factors for you there. All right, sports you want, sports you shall get, and we dive into it. And the mention of Pete Rose, we'll come back around to that because of the Hall of Fame coming up this weekend. But we'll cycle back to Norwich on Saturday, late Saturday, turned into Saturday night. Didn't quite go the way the Darien Blue Wave had it lined up as they took on Norwich Free Academy. Here's the 0-2. Swung on, pulled to the left side, going to the backhand to Schofield. He sets, he fires, a long throw across the diamond is not in time. Safe at first is Fontaine, scoring is Russo, and it's a 1-0 game for NFA. It was 2-0 after 1 for NFA, and the Wildcats would add 4 more in the second. 6-0 they would win. I got to give you a Blue Wave highlight, though. It was a good day, and Rich Brereton, who had a tough day on the mound, made a wonderful play later in the game. The pitch is pulled to the left side. Diving stop Brereton. Up to his feet, across the diamond. Got him! Best play of the afternoon is Rich Brereton makes a 5-3 diving play to his left for the final out of the last of the 5th inning. Terrific play by Brereton, but again, the Blue Wave fall 6-0. Hopefully a good experience for the Blue Wave despite the score. They fall to 1-2 on the season. Brereton took the loss. Elsewhere in baseball, this really is a final score. This is not a lacrosse score. This is not a football score. St. Joe's 21. Ludlow, 16. And I don't even want to ponder what the pitching lines were like. That's just a long day of baseball. 21-16, St. Joe's over Ludlow. Some other games, Norwalk beat Brian McMahon 11-3. We will see Norwalk and Brian McMahon this weekend. When we go to Cooperstown, New York, the two teams will meet all over again at Doubleday Field. We'll have it for you Sunday at 5, presented by Tucci Lumber Company, so we will have that for you on Sunday, and we're excited to do that as well. Among the other scores from the weekend, softball, it was Central over Bassick 21-6. A doubleheader, McMahon beat Bethel 7-5 in Game 2. Game 1 was a 6-4 McMahon victory. From boys lacrosse, Prep over Wilton 9-8. It was Wilton in baseball over Ridgefield 12-1. JT Morin with the victory. Norwalk beat Southington 9-3 in lacrosse. Staples 18, Stanford 3. That also in lacrosse. Ludlow tops Newtown 10-9 in boys lacrosse. On the girls' side, it was Staples beating Ludlow 13-12 in overtime. Port Washington doubled up Greenwich 14-7. Port Washington out of Long Island, New York. Girls lacrosse staying in there. It was Bethel over Stanford 10-4. Garden City beat Darien 9-8 in girls lacrosse. Back to boys lacrosse. Ward 11, Roslyn, New York 3. We'll get to some more scores in our second go-around. I know there's plenty to do back over in the Coffee Break studio with sports. I'm Rob Adams. Coffee Break time, 11:20.
Thanks, Rob. Kate, we have some more news to get to.
We sure do, John. Well, the Darien Police Department is cautioning residents to be careful with their pets, especially smaller dogs and other animals, after a suspected coyote attack killed a resident's dog. The incident took place on the Ides of March, or at least sometime that evening or during the night that followed, according to Detective Mark Capelli. During the evening hours on Sunday, March 15th, the resident who lives off Norwood Lane told police she let her Bichon Free Pooch out. The dog never came back, and the woman found, her pet dead on the lawn. Terrible. The woman took the dog to her veterinarian, and the vet found puncture wounds on the dog and stated they were most likely from a coyote, Capelli said at the briefing. However, he also notes that this is the first such case that's been reported, and it's still under investigation, so there's no cause for alarm, just caution. If you have any coyote sightings and reports, they can be directed to the Darien Animal Control Officer at 203-662-5435. John, I know recently my boyfriend's uncle rescued their dog. It was getting dragged into the woods by coyotes, and he ran in there barefoot and kind of scared them away.
Anywhere near a wooded area, you got to plan on encountering coyotes somehow. They've started to come back. They're reproducing. They're everywhere. I know I saw at least 2 that have been hit by vehicles on Route 84 just Saturday.
Right. What else is going on, John?
Well, Kate, a Naugatuck man is facing a heroin possession charge after being arrested by Stratford Police and Narcotics Task Force officers. Jonathan Lucky, 28 years old, was charged Thursday with possession of heroin with the intent to sell. Police said Stratford officers and investigators from the statewide Narcotics Task Force saw Lucky as he pulled into the parking lot of a Walgreens pharmacy in Bridgeport. Police said information they developed in a case led investigators to believe Lucky was there to conduct a drug transaction. Police approached Lucky as he sat in his 2010 Jeep Cherokee. He then attempted to flee the scene when officers made contact with him, and he struck a parked vehicle. Lucky was taken into custody without incident, police said. Police said Lucky was carrying $1,380 in cash and 1.18 pounds of heroin packaged in 2001 individual folds. He is being held on a $500,000 bond for court April 17th at State Superior Court in Bridgeport. That's a lot of heroin.
Yeah. All right. Well, in other news, Wilton High School graduate and award-winning actor 30-year-old Paul Dano plays young Beach Boys songwriter and musician Brian Wilson in the biographical film Love and Mercy. This is according to the Wilton Bulletin. And according to IMDb, Love and Mercy focuses on Wilson's life from his success with highly influential orchestral pop albums to his nervous breakdown and subsequent encounter with controversial therapist Dr. Eugene Landy, played by 2-time Golden Globe winner Paul Giamatti. Award-winning actors John Cusack and Elizabeth Banks are in the Bill Pohlad-directed film. Love and Mercy is the second film Pohlad has directed. He has produced a number of award-winning films, including the 2013 Oscar winner 12 Years a Slave, which Dano and Mr. Giamatti also had roles in. Love and Mercy, named after a 1988 song by Wilson, premiered at the 2014 Toronto International Film Festival, where it received acclaimed reviews, including one by Cameron Bailey, who described the film as an intimate rendering of Wilson's mercurial genius and an empathetic portrayal of Wilson's personal experience. They also praised Paul Dano's performance. Dano graduated from Wilton High School in 2002. He was the guitarist and did lead vocals in the Wilton-based rock band Mook, with fellow Wilton High alumni keyboardist Dan Krieger, drummer Chris Johnson, and bass player Rob Bruce. There's more on that story at wiltonbulletin.com.
That would have to be a fascinating movie, because just the whole story of the Beach Boys on its own. And then you add in Brian Wilson and everything that surrounded him. It just has to, it lends itself to a great movie. A little bit of a commuter alert here, Kate. Metro North Railroad is reporting that bus service will be provided for the 1128 train departing New Canaan and making all stops to Stamford. They also report that that bus is operating 20 to 30 minutes late. So that's bus service for the 1128 from New Canaan to Stamford, making all stops. Well, it sounded very conductory, didn't it?
It did.
And that bus is running 20 to 30 minutes late. Your coffee break time is 11:25, and we've got some setup to do. So what do you think about cutting out and letting them get ready? Because
as we said earlier in the show, we got a lot of stuff going on. Parallel Post executive chef and mixologist are joining us. We're going to be bringing them up next, and I'm excited about it, John. You can watch us live, too. You can watch all of this at hanradio.com, clicking on the Watch Now link. But, John, we're going to take a break.
we will be right back with
Cocktail break.
to serve you more coffee break on HANradio.com.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332, and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com.
Coming up on 11:28 on your coffee break presented by Stratford Orthodontics, coffee break turned cocktail and food break, because we have executive chef Chris Molyneux. Am I saying it right, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. And mixologist Greg Genias.
That's correct.
All right. We are so excited to have you guys here. You're from Parallel Post, which is a restaurant in Trumbull. It's in the Trumbull Marriott. It's great. And you guys do the coolest events. And coming up on April 20th, you have a special event coming up because of this book right here, which you, sir, are featured in. So can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in that?
Absolutely. Well, Nikki Gainan, she reached out to our PR company, and basically the book is about how America is one country, and some people are a bit misconstrued because they think that because it's one country, the laws are the same everywhere you go. So this is not like your typical cocktail recipe book. It stresses to highlight how it's 50 states and that it's like 50 different countries.
So true.
Yes. So she reached out to us. I'm the mixologist of Parallel Post, and she asked me, what ideas do I have, concepts, what are the trends in Connecticut, and it was basically a vetting process. There were like 10 different bartenders from Connecticut, and she liked the way I answered, and she chose me.
Wow. That's so exciting. So when did the book come out? It's
not yet released. It's going to be released
so
at Parallel Post on the 20th, and that's what
wow.
the event is about. Yes, so this is a sneak preview.
Wow. And Chef Chris, I just noticed that Parallel Post does a lot of events, kind of unique things. It seems like you guys really try to be different than most other places. I saw a few, like a month ago, it was, Girl Scout cookie desserts. And
Correct, yeah. So, but one of the things that we're all about is that Connecticut used to feed its own people, and then people don't understand what that means anymore. and it's because like everything gets shipped from everywhere. You know, you go to the supermarket, there's bananas. Well, we don't really have bananas, but what we actually do is, yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right.
So what we actually do is we try to source locally. So our menu also changes with the seasons, which is great, and then we use local companies. So even if it's a local company that they may have one product, but we're promoting the community, and that's really what it is all about, buying local. Like I know people have heard about it. It's big in other states. You know, I went to California, huge out there. Out in the West, there are a lot more buying locally than we are. But we did the Girl Scout event. That was great.
Yeah.
Madeline, our pastry chef, she came up with some great ideas of me and her, and you know, we put a great product out. We've also done St. Patrick's Day. You know, we had a nice event. Greg came up with some awesome cocktails, you know, so we're always trying to do something different to try to get, and on top of it is everybody wants something different. They don't always want to go to the same place all the time. So the menu changes and there's new ideas going on and things are happening. And, you know, we do farm to Trumbull's, which we actually will go to the farm. They'll be at the restaurant. So it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. That's why we do what we do.
True. And just to piggyback off what Chris said, a lot of restaurants, you know, they use the term local, buying local and serving local, but we take it a step further, and it's not just with the kitchen. I mean, it's extended to our bar, as you can see right here. So just to go in depth of how far we take it, like we have a plot at Gilberti's Farm up in Easton. So they grow, like we have a plot where they grow herbs and vegetables just for us, special herbs that they don't sell to anybody else. If you come to our bar, like all the plants, they are live and growing, that we grow ourselves, or we grow at Gilberti's and we keep them live at the bar. So when you get a piece of mint in a cocktail, it wasn't in a cooler somewhere, it's coming right off the tree.
Does that give you guys better control over quality and flavor? The fact that from seed up, you're in control of the process.
100%. I mean, even buying locally, if I know, I visit the farms. Like I don't just buy it from somebody. They come find me. I come find them. We go and sit down. We try it. I see how they're doing it. You know, our beef is local. Like our burger is best burger in Connecticut, and we've won that. And it comes from Roxbury, and he only has 250 head of cattle, and he's a rancher here. And you know what? They work very, very hard, but his product is phenomenal. And as Greg, I've worked with Greg for almost 3 years now, right?
Going on 4 years.
Yeah, almost 4 years. And he is by far one of the best mixologists that I've ever worked with. And when he's always making me crazy because of my food costs, because he finds new stuff and he's ordering it, and you know, but it tastes great, and,
and that's
what it's all is about.
And, you know,
so.
the customers love it, and in the end, I mean, that's the goal, because they're always going to come back because they love it. And it's hard when they go somewhere else and then they order something similar, or they try to order something similar to what they got at Parallel Post, and it just doesn't compare, you know? Yeah.
I mean, Greg, can you tell us, how do you become a mixologist?
Time.
Yeah.
Time. For me, personally, I was born into it. My dad is a bootlegger.
Wow.
Yeah, like one of my first memories, I was 3 years old. He used to store his liquor under my bed. You know, so I used to probably get up in the morning smelling like alcohol from all the fumes that came up with it. But I've been working in bars for over 15 years. I love it. I'm used to alcohol. And then coming to America, I'm from Jamaica originally, and coming to America, it just opened up a whole broader view. And yeah, so you gotta love what you do. You gotta vet a lot of time into it, and then you gotta have great products to work with. And I use nothing but fresh products. Everything is fresh from scratch. I'll go a little bit into some of the cocktails that we have here. We're sticking to our local brand, we're using Halfway Brewery, and they're out of Stanford. And Connor is the owner and brewer of Halfway Brewery. He was a Connecticut, a Wall Street banker. You know, and he said he was making a lot of money, but he wasn't happy at what he was doing. He wanted to do something that was fun, and he got into brewing about 2 years ago. I've tried their products. I've been to their brewery. I love it. And so a part of the event that we're having on Monday is going to be a tap takeover. So we carry 6 taps, and all taps are going to be from Halfway Brewery. We're going to have reps from there talking to the patrons about the beers and stuff like that. And I'm going to be incorporating their beers into these cocktails that I have in front of you right now. This is a fresh cucumber, and it's just cucumber puree. So we take the cucumber, we put it in a Vita Prep, no water, nothing else added, puree it out. The cucumber is 95% water, and then we just get that piff out, and that's the base for that cocktail, and incorporates fresh lime juice. There's Onyx Moonshine in there. That's the 111. People hear moonshine,
No, I've had. It's very good.
Yeah, it's not
very,
a local
very
product. Yeah,
smooth.
not a local product out of East Hartford, Connecticut. We do a lot of events with them too, and we incorporate an IPA in there. It's their Pursuit IPA, and if you look at all their beers, Pursuit, Bright, Toast, they all mean something. Because the Pursuit was the first one that he made, and he said, he was in pursuit of a dream. And the Bright Ale was, when you finally realize the dream and it looked bright, and then the Toasted Amber is a toast, kind of like a celebratory beer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I love about it is I think when you go out for a cocktail or for a meal, I mean, you can just be so disappointed if it lets you down. You kind of want something special and an experience, and it seems like that's what you guys are offering.
It is. We
Correct,
like our
yes.
customers not only to leave with a buzz, but we want them to leave with an experience and possibly a little bit of education too.
Yeah. So great. And Chef Chris, could you tell us a little bit about what you brought with you?
Sure. I brought three little tasters, and this is some of the things we would do if we ever do like a reception style or reception before we had like a PDR dinner, which we have a private dining room. And so over here I have the closest to me here, I have a coriander crusted filet.
Oh wow.
Oh my.
So it's coriander,
so
a little
good.
bit of salt.
It smells amazing in
Yeah.
here. Nobody can smell what it smells like, but it's great.
And then it's coriander crusted with a little bit of salt. We actually grill it, chill it, and then we actually slice it, and I put it on top of a fork, and then it's going to be topped off with a sweet onion pear, smoked pear chutney.
Oh my.
Over here is it's a Kalamata olive puree, and we're actually just over on toast points with this. So this is actually something that would go along very well with that first drink with the mint. And where's the one with the gin? That's the first one, right?
It's the moonshine.
The moonshine. So this will go that because like gin, mint, and olives that kind of go together. So we're trying to like pair up some of these things. And then over here we have our fresh local goat cheese. And then we actually add a little bit of fresh herbs into it, some local farmer's cow heavy cream, whip it, and then we actually pipe that on there and then cover that with a fresh parsley.
And that will go well with this strawberry cocktail. And
Correct.
then that's fresh strawberry, and we didn't put that in a VitaPrep. We actually have an extractor, so we put the whole strawberry in there and get all that wonderful juice out, all the nice aroma. And then there's the Bright Ale in there, so that's like a light Pilsner, very crisp. It brings out the strawberry flavors. And there's a light rum in there, a little bit of lemon juice, and it just brings it all together, and that will go wonderful with the goat cheese.
Especially with the cream. You get the cream going with the strawberries. So a lot of also what we do is like we try to pair off of each other. That's what this is a nice thing for us to show, is that when you do come in, you do order something, you can get a cocktail that goes along with it that'll enhance the flavors of what you're eating. And that's really what the experience is about. Like that's why we do what we do.
How experimental do you have to be? I mean, there are flavors that you've paired here with a beer or an ale that I would never think of making that mix. How important is it in your job to be open-minded and experimental?
It is very, very important, because especially in this day and age where everybody can go on the computer and they can Google something or they can look something up, and
Go to the computer, they can use their phone.
Yeah.
They're going to be sitting in the restaurant and be like, make me this.
Yeah,
And
that's
one
so
thing,
true. Yeah.
and one
I've never
thing,
done that to
yeah,
anyone, but
one thing that kills a restaurant is when you're boring. You kind of have to go out your way as a chef or as a mixologist to impress people, to have them talk about you, because they do talk, and you do not want it to be bad. So.
No.
But it's also
Especially
that makes
nowadays.
it's also the thing that makes it exciting for us, because we have to stay on our toes. So like our menu changes, it can change daily, it can change weekly depending on what's coming in, what's not. Some people come in and they're like, oh, I had that last week. I'm like, well, the boat didn't go out this week. That fish isn't available. I have another fish. So it does make it exciting for all of us on both ends.
So your menu's changing by the day.
Yes.
By the day, yep. And our customers, our return guests, they're so used to it to the point where when they pick up the food menu, the first thing they ask is, what do you guys have special today? And when they pick up when they talk to the bartenders at the bar, they don't even look at the cocktail list anymore. They're like, make
new?
me this, or I know you guys have something new or something exciting. What do you have back there? And they trust us, because we've seldomly ever let them down.
I use them as taste panels. I'm making something different. I find someone that comes in, and like I know them. I walk out and say, I'm making some new items. I'm just gonna drop them in front of you. Let me know how you think.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
And
I need to go more often so that I can be that person.
And sure, and just to touch on, he asked about experimenting. Like this last cocktail is the true embodiment of that, and it incorporates the half full toasted amber, which is a well-rounded beer, but it's beer with bourbon. And so 2 types of bourbon. There's a classic Kevin Williams bourbon over there, straight Kentucky, and there's also cinnamon whiskey. So it's bourbon, cinnamon whiskey, toasted amber, it's fresh pineapple juice, and carrots. So
I bet.
Yeah.
That's going with the smokiness and the beef.
Yeah.
All right. I think we have to take a break, and we're going to come back and try some of these amazing pairings, and also just tell people how they can go to this April 20th event and how they get tickets and all that. So that's coming up. So keep listening and watching the Coffee Break on HANradio.com.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with Power Rise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersam at 203-417-5199.
You're listening to Hersam Acorn Radio.
Coming up on 11:45 on your coffee break on HANradio.com, we are just about to taste test all these amazing offerings from the folks at Parallel Post. They've come in to hang out with us today, talk about this special event coming up. All right, I'm so excited about this. Oh, I get all the food, John. You don't get any.
That ain't right.
Executive Chef Chris Molyneux is passing out some of his food that is going to be paired with mixologist Greg, Bootleg Greg, Genias' cocktail creations that he's made with some beers from Half Full Brewery, which I've heard great things about. John, I can't remember if we've tried any Half Full on some of our, meetings after our
I
workday.
actually have because exactly. Because, thank you, sir, they have it when I attend a coaching clinic at the Hyatt in Greenwich. Mm-hmm. They tend to have it, and I tend to order it there when we're having meetings there.
Here, I'm gonna grab my cocktails, and then we're gonna start trying all this out, which I'm pretty excited about.
So just to go in order when you're working with your cocktails, the first one that Greg gave you, you're actually gonna have with the olive puree,
Okay.
olive. The strawberry is going to go with the fresh goat cheese.
Okay.
And the filet coriander mustard is going with toasted amber.
Okay, so what do you suggest?
What do you test?
Do you sip first or eat first?
Well, the one thing that we always do is that you try each separately first.
Okay.
All right. I wish we had some water.
Is there an order that we can? Should I sip first?
I would go sip first.
Ooh.
Okay.
And then food
That's
by
really
itself.
tasty.
And then have the food again, and then add a slight sip with it afterwards.
Oh my.
Yep. So you get the fresh cucumber coming out, and then it's amplified by that IPA with all the hops, and it just blends well with the cucumber.
It tastes so fresh.
The moonshine, even though it's a 111, which is a 110 22 proof. It's not overbearing. It still comes out.
It's also, for an IPA, it's not overwhelmingly hoppy, which they tend to be. What cuts the hops here?
The cucumber, definitely. The cucumber.
Yeah.
That fresh flavor. It just emulsifies, and then there's a little acidity in there from the lime juice. So that all blends well, and that's what you want to get in a great cocktail. You want to get all the flavors blended well together. They're not fighting against each other, and all in unity.
No, there is a lot going on in there, but it's not a lot that's competing against each other.
And
like
that's what
you
we're
said.
looking for,
It's
exactly.
all really ties together. It's really a wonderful taste, and this is with the olive.
Olive tapenade, yes. It's like enhancing it. You're trying to take all the ingredients, and every ingredient should blend together and enhance each other.
It's amazing. Go for it, John. I already ate mine while you were talking. Now, am I wrong? There's something almost shandy-like about this a bit?
Almost shandy-like. Almost shandy-like. But we try not to make it too shandy.
No.
If we were going to go ultra shandy, then we would add like a bit of effervescence, maybe from a Sprite or a Sierra Mist or something like that.
So
we wanted
good.
to
It's
keep
really
that beer flavor.
refreshing, though.
Well,
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and spring is up on us, so.
Yeah.
So good.
Wow.
The cucumber takes the flavor, and like the cucumber enhances it, so you're gonna get that salty Kalamata olive. You get the hops, the gin, and then you're gonna get, the onyx, and then you're gonna have the cucumber is gonna smooth it all out.
Yeah, I think it's like a symphony of flavor, but you can.
You're so poetic, Doug.
But that's what I do. It's like a symphony of flavor, but yet you can pick out each individual instrument.
And that's the goal.
And
Right.
that's the
We're
goal.
gonna
They don't
steal
all
that. We
meld
gotta keep
together.
that.
Yeah.
A symphony of flavor.
Come in the parallel
Sure.
post for the symphony
I'll
of
email
flavor.
you that.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And about the event on Monday, now it
Yes.
starts at 5. It's going to be between 5 and 8, and it's going to be a full tap takeover. There's going to be a $35 ticket buy-in. You can get those at the restaurant, at the front desk, or online at parallelpostrestaurant.com. And what you're going to get, that's going to give you a copy of this book, which is a $19 value. And it's going to get you all these hors d'oeuvres, all you can eat, and it's also going to get you all these cocktails, all you can drink, and also the 6 beer samples from Half Full. So it's big bang for your buck.
Yeah, definitely. And what a great idea for a book. I mean, such a great idea. As you said, it's like different countries.
It is.
Just
Different
driving
take,
over state
different take,
lines.
because
They
usually,
really are.
usually what you get from a cocktail book are recipes, and you usually don't get to see the legal side of it, and that's what you get. For instance, Connecticut and Massachusetts are borders, but they're so very different in their drinking culture. Like our tap beers we sell for $9 on the regular. During happy hour, which is between 2 and 6, you can get them for $3. Now, if you do that in Massachusetts, you get hauled off to jail. You
I've
cannot.
worked in Mass. There's no happy
you
hours.
cannot discount.
Right,
can't
I
discount
lived in
alcohol.
Massachusetts. That's right. Oh my gosh,
you
I forgot
cannot
about
discount
that.
liquor for any reason
Yeah.
whatsoever in Massachusetts. So those are just
So
some of
funny.
the examples.
What's the most surprising thing you came about?
Most surprising. Well, Utah is always a shocker.
I rank in Utah.
I can
That's
imagine.
a different
I can
ballgame.
imagine.
Yeah, Utah is always a shocker. We're so used to in New England, you walk up to the bar, give me a beer and a shot. You cannot do that in Utah. The bartenders, you cannot have 2 drinks in front of you at one time. It's crazy.
Exactly,
It's
because I
crazy.
got stranded in Utah on a flight.
Oh boy.
And we had to spend an extra night in Utah. And they put us up in the hotel, and they take us to a happy hour. And they have there's a happy hour. We go, and like I have a glass in my hand, and I stepped through a door. They're like, no, get back.
Yeah.
Holding an empty glass.
Yeah. Another shocker I came about to is California. You would think they're a very free state, very liberal out there, but you cannot advertise the word free as it pertains to alcohol. So
Wow.
it's illegal.
Yeah, actually, I found that out because when we went out on our honeymoon, my wife had booked a wine tour, and I was really excited about it. But it wasn't written that you actually got the tastings. It was included in it, and it said that you had there's a van and they bring you out. So I was over there, and I'm like buying stuff.
Right.
At the first place, no one told me because I just assumed because it didn't say free tastings.
You get it, right? Yeah.
And then the guy comes over and says, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to try as many wines as I can. Like, how many times am I going to come out to California,
Yeah.
And he's like,
"What's wrong with you?"
"All you got to do is go over to that side and show it a wristband. You get it for free." And I was like, "Oh, man, are you kidding?"
I'll tell
So
you
you
another.
can buy wine point of purchase at CVS,
Yeah.
but they can't say that it's a free sample.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Makes a lot of sense.
I'll
So
tell you
it-
another one that's a shocker too. You go to New York of all places, and you go to the liquor store, and you need beer and wine. You got to go to 2 different places to get both. You cannot get beer and wine in the same building. So who came up with that?
funny, right?
Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah.
Well, should we try another one?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
All
I
right.
would start
what's
with
next?
go with the strawberry.
Okay,
And
the
then
strawberry.
you're going
All
in
right.
with the goat cheese, with the fresh herbs.
Goat cheese is like my favorite, so I'm really excited about this.
So that's the fresh strawberry extract, and it's the half full bright ale. And that's going to blend very well with the strawberry flavors, and we're using a light rum to that because we want to keep everything subtle. And then it's amplified by the bright ale, and then a little bit of effervescence in that, and a little bit of lime juice, and a little bit of gum, or as we simple syrup, a little bit of sweetener.
This is a hot day beer.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
This
It
on
is.
a hot day would be amazing.
It is.
And now everyone's craving those hot days, so it's perfect for this time of year.
And I
That
purposely
goat cheese is amazing.
I purposely designed so that you can design it so you could have 3 or 4 of those before you start feeling the buzz. So.
That's good.
Where is the goat cheese from? Because it really
It's
is
so
amazing.
good.
It's Coach Farms goat cheese, and we've been using them for over 2 years now. We use them, Gilberti's, Ox Hollow. I think we're up to about a dozen farms right now in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and we're always looking for a few. And I got 3 more that I'm in the process of working on. One, which is going to be great for him too, is I got a guy who's doing hydroponics, and he does 2 products, lettuce and basil. And they're so good. And I placed an order, and I'm waiting. It's a 5-week lead time to get it up to par. He has to grow it. So we're hoping that by it should be about May. I should be able to have some, and it's going to be very good. I mean, the lettuce was phenomenal.
Yeah, and he mentions lettuce. Like right now, currently, we have lettuce in one of our cocktails. You would never think.
Yeah?
Yeah, we use arugula.
Oh, arugula is my favorite lettuce.
Yeah, you'll never think the bitter and the dirt taste, but
Wow.
it blends well. And actually, we use it with the Onyx Moonshine also. Yeah.
It's incredible. Well, we should try the last one.
We should certainly try the last one, and then I'll double back.
Now,
By the
what do
way,
I do with the cinnamon stick? Do I just kind of...
You could use it as a stirrer.
Stir,
And what
right.
it does when you stir it with a cinnamon stick, it adds a little more flavor to it.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so
You can see it.
yeah. And the cinnamon, it acts as like a little digestive, and then it's more heavy, it's more rounded. So you're gonna have that later in the meal with the beef, something heavier, and that's bourbon whiskey, a little bit of cinnamon.
Now, do I just bite this off of here?
Oh yeah.
One
That's
bite?
good.
Okay.
Just take it right off. Don't bite
Okay.
the fork.
Before I get deeper into the bourbon beer, just a reminder, Nutmeg Sports coming to us at 2 with new Greenwich High School coach John Marinelli.
That's
Live
amazing.
from New Canaan, and then stick around. We'll have New Canaan and McMahon live from Mead Park in New Canaan. Now I'm going to have my steak and continue on
Oh
my
my
bourbon
gosh, you're
beer.
going to love it. It's amazing.
It's all about to see. I knew what the distraction was. get the business at hand out of the
Yeah.
way.
And, Greg, what's your favorite cocktail? Just curious.
I am a purist. If you look at the definition cocktail, like a bottle of bourbon, it is a cocktail within itself. It has the sweetness from the aging process that it gathers from the wood, and so I'm a straight drinker, but I love to make anything with bourbon, and I love to work with liquors and alcohols that are over 55% alcohol. I do.
I like it.
That will make you popular.
Josh Fisher would be a big fan, right, Josh?
Yeah.
Bourbon guy.
So in our cocktails, we strive to incorporate liquors and alcohols with a higher alcohol yield.
And this is very tasty for fall, too. I imagine this would be like a popular one around that time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, guys, if people want more information on Parallel Post, is there a website? Where can they go?
Yeah,
Definitely.
we're on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
We have Twitter. We're also like I said, we're also like the easiest way to say is we're actually located inside the Trumbull Marriott.
Yep.
A lot of people don't know that.
I know,
Surprisingly,
yeah.
It's 180 Hallway Lane.
It's a beautiful space. Too.
Yeah, and it's a great restaurant. We've been remodeled for 2 years now. We have a private dining room that leads out to a patio. So if you're looking for up to 35, 40 people, and we do receptions in there, we do sit-down dinners, we do we call it a family-style dinner, where we bring it back to the roots, where everybody used to go and you sit down and it's bowls, you pass it around. So you're not with the same people though. You can just join as like the farm to Trumbull, as we call them, and you don't know the people. So the point is to engage. It's to enjoy and have an experience and
Right.
and share with people that you really don't know and make new friends.
Mm-hmm.
And we do 3 or 4 a year, depending on the seasons.
The one in August is probably the most exciting
Yeah,
one, right?
the one in August is the
Yeah.
best one because we actually take the entire restaurant to a farm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do.
So we set
Oh,
up the
wow.
tables there. We bring everything. Everything's made there. And
Gilbert
it's-
is up in Easton, and then you can actually see live when we talk about fresh what we talk about, because we bring the fresh plants out. We're like in the middle of a cow field, and it's just
That's
exciting.
cool.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's a great experience. Yeah.
This is just some of the best culinary experiences I've ever had, just right within this past half hour.
I
mean,
know,
just
it's been amazing.
tremendous.
And we actually managed to fit you guys in here, which
And
is
it's
the
right,
best part.
Yeah, and it's right here in Trumbull too. You don't have to go to
not
New York.
far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right here,
Yeah,
so.
it's right around the corner.
Right around
from
the
us.
corner.
I mean, it literally was. It was like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Like when I got on and I got off, I was like, oh, it's right here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we just love having you guys on today. It's been so awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having us.
You know, any other events coming up? Maybe we can bring you guys back and you could make us some more stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure,
Definitely.
Yeah, I'd love to. This is an easy hop over, so to come
Yeah.
and do an event is always a blessing to come this close.
All right, John, should we do maybe one last look at the roads and weather before we head out?
We can certainly do that.
I'm going to keep drinking, thanks.
Yeah, you do that. I'll do it after I do the roads. Some of the road work being cleared, but again, they're just kind of moving around. You have road work now in New Canaan on the Marriot North at exit 36, Route 106. That's right at the Stamford line. Way up in Norwich, where Rob was this weekend. Montville, up that way. Middlebury, you've got road work. And what's happening now is they're clearing some spots and moving on to others. Most of the other ones that we talked about, Darien on 95 North, the Wilbur Cross South in Orange, 84 East in Danbury, the Merritt South in Fairfield at Black Rock Turnpike, all those still going on. They're going to be working all day. Just be prepared for it. Still 53, mostly cloudy outside our Shelton studio. Getting up to 63 today. Going to stay partly cloudy. Nice day. We'll have good weather for the baseball game. Again, Nutmeg Sports at 2 with new Greenwich High School football coach John Marinelli coming to you live from the town he grew up in and coached in, New Canaan. Then stay with us immediately for New Canaan and McMahon baseball live from Mead Park. Great place. We enjoy doing games there. That all this afternoon on HAN Radio.
All right. Thanks, John. Well, that does it for this special edition of Coffee Break on this Monday. As we said, we're going to keep eating and drinking, but we wish everyone else a happy Monday.
Cheers.
Hersam Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in Southwestern Connecticut.